How's everybody hanging in there tonight? I know a lot of you are probably going stir crazy being stuck inside a lot. I unfortunately still have to work quite a bit, so I'm not feeling it. I'm still pretty busy, but I did get the Challenger decks in, as you can see. I posted last night. I posted the Cavalcade Charge deck, which is probably my favorite of the four. This is my second favorite, though, the Simic Flash, basically. They call it Flash of Ferocity. So let's break in here and see what's inside. I've been just really, I was stunned when I saw the deck list for these when they announced them, before they actually released them. I was like, yeah, I definitely have to get my hands on some of those because seriously, the cards alone in here are worth way more than the price of the decks, even though the card values have dropped a lot after they announced them as them gonna be in the decks. Yeah, I can speak it. So here's your little, yeah, there's not really much to it as far as the instruction manual or anything, which is kind of weak because these are kind of a little bit more complex decks than the usual Challenger decks. But as you can see right on top, there's a Brazen Borrower in this deck. That's right. This card alone costs as much as this entire deck. So these decks sell for about 20-25 bucks right now if you buy them as a set. And yeah, Brazen Borrower is like, what is he, like 15-17 bucks or something like that still? So he's almost as much as you're paying for the whole deck, just in one card. And that's not all. There's more. But wait, there's more. So we got our Brazen Borrower Mythic right on top. Yes, this deck really should have 4 Brazen Borrowers in it. I know that's expensive, but really you want to get as many Brazen Borrowers as you can to put in this deck if you're going to run this deck, because he is really one of the key kind of cards in here. Obviously, he's super powerful. You know, the Petty Theft, return target non-land permanent and owner controls to its owner's hand for 1 blue and 1 colorless is pretty awesome. And then he's got Flash and Flying, and he can block only creatures with Flying, but he is a Flash Flyer 3/1, you know, for 3 mana. So after the adventure. So I mean, you got, yeah, both of them are just awesome. So then we got a Night Pack Ambusher, another decent rare. We got a full play set of those. He's got Flash as well. Other wolves and werewolves you control get +1/+1. At the beginning of your end step, if you didn't cast a spell this turn, create a 2/2 green wolf creature token. So in a blue deck, that's actually a good thing, because a lot of times with control, blue control, you want to hold on to your cards so you can react to your opponent's next turn. So a lot of times you won't cast a spell on your turn. You're going to untap, you're going to attack, and then you're going to pass. So he's a pretty cool creature, and they include a full play set of them. M20 rare. He is a little bit valuable, not like some of the other cards in here, though. We got the old Horsefish. Yep, the old Horsefish. I'm not sure why. Whenever you cast your first spell during an opponent's turn, draw a card. He's a 2/2, 3-drop. He's all right. Not a bad card. He does give you card draw, which is huge. Huge advantage there. Wildborn Preserver. Now, this guy is one of the staples of the deck. Some people have kind of moved away from him because there's other options out there, but he's still a really good card for this deck because he does have Flash. He's only 2-drop, 2/2, and he has Reach, which is huge. And whenever another non-human creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay X. If you do, put X 1/1 counters on Wildborn Preserver. So you flash him in, you flash another creature in, and then you pay to put a couple counters on him, and you can block some pretty big stuff, including flyers, because he's got Reach. So he's a great card, awesome card. They include a full play set of him, and he's actually a fairly valuable card from Throne of Eldraine. He's worth a couple bucks a piece. Then we got Thassa's Intervention. We got 2 of those. Choose one, 2 blue and X. Look at the top X cards of your library. Put up to 2 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Counter target spell unless its controller pays twice X. So it's a counter spell, or, well, more of a power sync counter spell for any of the old school players out there that played back in the early days. Power sync was a 1 blue and X counter target spell unless its controller paid X. So it's kind of like a power sync that's a little bit more expensive, or you can use it to draw a couple cards. So there's 2 of those in there. There is 2 of the Castle Vantresses, which are really cool. All the castles, I think, are pretty handy. They enter the battlefield tapped unless you control an island. So you just can't play them as your first land in a game, and you're good to go. especially in a deck that, well, actually this is 2 colors, so just gotta make sure you got an island out before you cast it. But you can pay 2 blue and 2 colorless to scry 2. And then we got a Fabled Passage. Once again, a card that costs almost as much as the whole deck. I think these are like probably still $7 or $8 a piece at the very least, but that's just because they're down right now because of the announcement of these decks. We're going to have one in a couple of the decks, and these are going to go back up. I mean, sacrifice Fabled Passage, search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped, and shuffle your library. If you control 4 or more lands, untap that land. So it's a fetch land that doesn't cost anything, and you can go get any basic land. Pretty awesome card. Huge card. That one's going to be around for a long time. I think that'll find its way into maybe even Vintage. It'll definitely find its way to Legacy, I'm sure. So then we got a couple Temple of Masteries. Nothing exciting there. A couple Scry lands. But we got some Brineborn Cutthroats. 4 of those. Full play set. Flash 2/1 for 2. Whenever you cast a spell during an opponent's turn, put a 1/1 counter on Brineborn Cutthroat. So once again, you can flash him out, flash out something else, and then boom, he's a 2/3 or 3/2, and then flash out something else, he's a 4/3. So you got a big old blocker all of a sudden. So he's a good card, just an uncommon. We got a Frilled Mystic, another staple of the deck. It's a flash creature, but when it comes into play, you can counter a target spell. So it's basically a 2 green 3/2 creature and a counter spell all in one that you can flash in. So kind of cool card. Got a playset of those. Got a playset of the Spectral Sailors, another big one. Flash Flyer, 1-drop 1/1, and for 1 blue and 3 colorless, you could draw a card. So he's pretty handy. I'm surprised he's a uncommon actually, and a core set no less. And then we got Opt. We got 4 Ops, full playset of those. 1 blue, scry 1, and then draw a card. So you can check out the top card. If you don't like it, throw it on the bottom and then draw a different card. So we got Quench. We got a full play set of those. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 2 colorless. We got Sinister Sabotage, another counter spell. This deck kind of all about control and then flash. So counter target spell and then Surveil 1. So you got the Surveil. And then you got a couple Unsummons to kind of get rid of any threats that get by you when you were tapped out. A couple Thornwood Falls, 3 of those actually. Those are the life gain dual lands, common ones. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 forests, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 islands. And then we got 2 wolf tokens with wolves on the back, and then 2 more wolf tokens with wolves on the back. Apparently the only thing you can use for tokens is wolves. And then you got an adventure card for your adventure cards. So there you have it. There's everything that... Oh, wait, we got a sideboard. Wait, hold on, never mind. Halt. Don't run away yet. We still got 15 more cards to look at. Almost forgot about the sideboard. All right, so sideboard, we've got Shifting Ceratopses. We got 3 of them. Good rare from Core 2020, M20. This spell can't be countered. It's got protection from blue. So if you're in a mirror match, this one comes in kind of handy. Also, for 1 green, Shifting Ceratops gains your choice of Reach, Trample, or Haste until end of turn. He's a 4-drop 5/4. So really good bang for the buck on that card. And the protection from blue and it can't be countered. If you're playing a mirror match against another blue control deck, he's going to be really handy in the main deck. Aether Gust, another counter spell. If it's red or green, so if you're facing either a red deck or green deck or a red and green deck, you can, again, if you're doing a mirror match, you got some counter spells for that. And then Disdainful Stroke, counter target spell with converted mana cost 4 or greater. Then Mystical Dispute, this spell costs 2 less to cast if it targets a blue spell. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 3. So if you're in a mirror match, again, against a blue deck, you can counter their spell for 1 blue if it's a blue spell, so pretty good. Then you got Negate, counter target non-creature spells, 2 of those. And then Thronity Singer, another flash flyer. 2-drop 1/3. When it comes into play, target creature and opponent controls gets negative X power until end of turn, where X is your devotion to blue. And you get 3 of those. So there's your sideboard. Sideboard's, it's okay. Obviously the Ceratops and some of the counter spells are handy. The Thronity Singer, I kind of almost main deck that one. But you know, every deck is open to a little bit of your own personal tweaking to your liking. Obviously, the most important thing I would say for this one is to get more Brazen Burrowers in here. But I mean, at the price of these decks, you could get a couple of these decks, and then you'll have a couple Fabled Passages and a couple Brazen Burrowers. And then you got some like Preservers, and that'll give you a play set of the Vantress, Castle Vantress, and you got some Preservers you can trade off for something more useful. They give you a full play set of the Interventions, you know. You got the Night Pack Ambushers you can trade off. You know, so there's you know, there's some benefits to the price of these decks right now. There's definitely more value in the deck than the decks cost. So I'm pretty impressed by them. I like them. The 4 that I'm opening, I'm probably just gonna keep to play with because they're ready to go pretty much right out of the box for most typical stuff. If you want to get really super competitive, like I said, you'll don't want to do some tweaking and pick up some extra cards for the deck. But yeah, hope you liked the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know what you think of these decks and what you would do to tweak this one a little bit. This is, like I said, probably my second favorite of the decks. I did play this a little bit on Arena when they did the Friday Night Magic with these decks in there. So I played with it a little bit, and it was okay. The Brazen Burrowers was the biggest thing that I wish I had more of in the deck. But it performed pretty well, so not bad at all. So let me know what you guys think of it, and hopefully you'll check out some other videos while you're here, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys. You guys have a great night. Bye.